Today on the program, Audi unveils its most extreme car ever, and Ford is preparing a four-door Mustang. Fiat declares war on Dacia with its new SUV and on Lada as well. Finally, a technological revolution for the Niva after 50 years of waiting. If a Cybertruck and a Lamborghini Murcielago had a baby, it would be this. For years, Audi kept going on about electric cars, selling us trendy SUVs, unexciting sedans, and almost convincing us that the future of automobiles would be summed up by the silence of Audi's four rings. And when the R8 bowed out, we all mourned the death of its glorious naturally aspirated V10, convinced that the German brand was definitely going to sink into virtuous boredom. But boredom is dead because Audi has just unleashed the most powerful, the most expensive, and probably the craziest car in its entire history, the Audi Nuvolari. Let me paint you the picture. You take a Lamborghini Temerario, you strip off the flashy Italian bodywork, and you replace it with a sharply sculpted carbon fiber shell. Beneath this German spaceship look, which also introduces the brand's all-new design with a sleeker grille, hides a machine of incredible power. We're talking about a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 that screams up to 10,000 RPM. And as if those 800 horsepower weren't enough to obliterate your driver's license, Audi has added 3 electric motors, 2 on the front axle to control each wheel with surgical precision, and 1 wedged between the engine and the gearbox. The result? 1,001 horsepower. Does that remind you of something? Yes, that's exactly the magic number that Ferdinand Piëch demanded for the legendary Bugatti Veyron 20 years ago. Except here, it's not a giant design to go 400 km/h in a straight line. It's a mid-rear engine sedan weighing about 1,750 kg, capable of ripping your face off every time you accelerate. 0 to 100 is done in just 2.6 seconds, and if you have enough road, it will easily exceed 350 km/h. On the technical side, Audi didn't do things halfway. They developed a system called Quattro Predictive Ride. Basically, the car constantly analyzes your steering angle, your acceleration, and road grip. If it senses that you're about to lose control and end up in a tree, it anticipates, adjusts the torque distribution, and brakes the wheels individually to save you. Add to that active aerodynamics with a movable rear wing capable of generating 400 kilos of downforce and massive carbon ceramic brakes with 10 piston calipers at the front, and you get a war machine ready for the track. Inside, it's German austerity in all its glory. Carbon fiber, anodized aluminum, a reasonably sized central screen, and bucket seats whose dark color in the front is supposed to, I quote, promote concentration. But be careful, this mechanical dream comes at a price, and it's stratospheric. Production will be limited to only 499 units, with deliveries scheduled for 2027. And although the official price for France hasn't been set in stone yet, it's rumored that the bill could approach, or even exceed, 680,000 euros. So, what do you think of this new Audi? Let me know in the comments. Then a few years ago, Ford made a radical, brutal, almost barbaric decision. Jim Farley, the big boss, explained to us very seriously that Ford was losing billions on sedans, and that the market only wanted huge SUVs and pickups. The Mustang remained the sole survivor, the last bastion of low and sleek cars at the Blue Oval. But now, it seems that the mood in Michigan is changing. Rumors are spreading, and they're coming from the very top. Andrew Frick, the head of Ford Blue, just hinted that a new sedan might soon see the light of day. To clarify, we're not talking about the Mondeo returning, but a 4-door Mustang. The idea might seem strange to purists, but Frick said, "We have a fantastic Mustang that people see as a true car. We're looking to expand the Mustang family in the future." And he added a key condition for a sedan to return. It has to fit into an existing family and be extremely profitable. So let's do the math. Ford already sells an electric crossover with the Mustang badge, the Mach-E, a sacrilege that, ironically, has sold very well in the United States in particular. The Flat Rock plant in Michigan, which assembles the classic Mustang, has been running at low capacity since the disappearance of the Lil Lincoln Continental and the Ford Fusion. It desperately needs volume, and Ford recently filed for the name Make 4. Put all that in a shaker, shake it well, and you get the perfect recipe for a Mustang sedan. But what does it look like? Well, that's where it gets interesting. Last year, Ford secretly showed its dealers two concepts based on the Mustang, an off-road safari-style version and a four-door coupe. So, will we get a silent electric spaceship or a fire-breathing dinosaur equipped with the glorious 5-liter V8 and, let's be crazy, a manual gearbox? Frick hasn't confirmed anything, but Farley made one crucial point clear. If Ford makes a sedan again, it has to keep the performance and attitude of the original. So, is Ford really going to bring back the sedan in the form of a Mustang? All signs point to yes. It's unclear if Ford will risk adding a combustion engine, or if Europeans will get that version. Fiat, for its part, has just officially unveiled the Grizzly, a new family SUV with a clear and straightforward mission: to destroy Dacia. Let's put things into context. For years, Dacia has been the undisputed king of affordable cars. It reigns supreme over Europe. In 2025, the Romanian brand broke records again, approaching 700,000 sales and climbing to the second spot on the European podium for private sales. Their new secret weapon, the Bigster SUV, is already selling like hotcakes, even surpassing the brand's expectations. Faced with this juggernaut, most manufacturers have thrown in the towel, mumbling excuses about production costs. But at Stellantis, the new boss, Antonio Filosa, has decided that he's had enough. As part of his major Fastlane 2030 recovery plan, he has put Fiat at the center of the global chessboard. The brand is going on the offensive, with a new family of vehicles launched by the Grande Desapenda and now crowned by this famous Grizzly. So, what is this Grizzly? Well, it's a compact SUV that's less than 4.5 meters long. Visually, it's a continuation of the Grande Desapenda with angular lines, a wide black strip at the front featuring a very refined light signature, and an adventurer's look ready to take on the urban jungle. But Fiat doesn't do things halfway. They're offering us two versions: a standard Grizzly, boxy, designed to maximize interior space and provide a trunk volume capable of swallowing up the whole family's luggage, and a Grizzly fastback. Beneath this Italian body is actually the famous Stellantis Smart Card platform. It's the same technical base as the new Citroën C3 Aircross and the Opel Frontera. If necessary, sure, but we wish more effort went into the profiles, as all three cars look nearly identical. Fiat knew you can't win a war with only one type of ammunition, so the Grizzly will offer several energy options. You'll have the choice between classic gasoline with a small 1-liter turbo engine, a hybrid, and of course, a fully electric version. In the electric version, it should inherit the 113 horsepower engine from its cousins, with batteries offering between 300 and 400 kilometers of range. But where the story really gets fascinating is in Fiat's global strategy. This Grizzly isn't just meant for Europe, it's going to conquer the world. In the United States, the Chrysler brand is struggling. They only sell a single model now, a huge minivan called the Pacifica. Stellantis plans to save the brand by rebadging the Fiat Grizzly and Grizzly Fastback as the Chrysler Aero and Aero Cross for the American market. Will the Fiat Grizzly really destroy Dacia? The battle, in any case, promises to be epic. Dacia has the advantage of experience and a fiercely loyal customer base. Fiat is entering with a bold design and technology used across millions of vehicles, and a very aggressive price, probably around 20,000 euros for the entry-level combustion versions. And finally, let's talk about immortality. Not the immortality of the Greek gods, no, but that of a piece of Soviet sheet metal. While Mercedes has turned its G-Class, born in 1979, into a rolling palace for billionaire rappers at 175,000 euros. And while Land Rover has turned its Defender into an onboard computer capable of climbing trees, Russia has chosen another path, the path of absolute immobility. I'm talking about the legendary Lada Niva. Born in 1977, the Niva is one of the first cars in the world to combine a unibody design with real off-road capabilities. It was designed for the peasants of the Urals. It drove in Antarctica for 15 years, where other vehicles would freeze on the spot. And it's even said to be one of Vladimir Putin's favorite vehicles for going bear hunting. But in Western Europe, the bureaucrats in Brussels and their anti-pollution standards drove it off our roads. Yet in Russia, the Niva refuses to die. Renamed Niva Legend, it has just undergone its biggest update since the Cold War. At the recent St. Petersburg Economic Forum, Avtovazi unveiled the Niva Legend 2026, and hold on tight because Ada proudly announced that they've integrated 100 new parts on a car that hasn't changed in 50 years. That's almost an industrial revolution. So what are these incredible innovations? Well, the exterior is radically changing. The turn signals are now white instead of orange, a bold stylistic move that Peugeot had already dared on the 205 in the early 90s. They also added new 16-inch alloy wheels. But the real revolution, the thing that will shake the global automotive industry, is on the inside. For the very first time since 1977, the Lada Niva is equipped with an airbag. It was about time. And to top it all off, Ada has installed a large touchscreen in the middle of the dashboard. Under the hood, the old 1.7-liter 83-horsepower engine has been consigned to oblivion. It has been replaced by a 1.8-liter engine that now delivers the staggering power of 90 horsepower. And DAF promises that fuel consumption will drop by anywhere from 3 to 33, depending on how you drive. That's such a wide range that you have to wonder if anyone actually did the math. But it gets even better. If you've ever owned a Lada Niva, you know that its main pastime after consuming gasoline was rusting. Rust on a Niva wasn't a flaw, it was standard equipment. Well, that's over now. Avtovazi has applied a new double-sided galvanization treatment to the hood, the roof, the tailgate, and the chassis. Add to that a simplified transfer case, improved suspension, and a single key to open the doors and start the engine. Because yes, before, you needed two, and you get a vehicle that is almost modern. This technological marvel will be available in Russian dealerships in the fall, starting at around 10,000 euros. And obviously, with the current sanctions and European standards, you won't see a single one in French showrooms. But you can't help but feel an infinite fondness for this little Soviet cube. Quick reminder before we finish, your car insurance may be too expensive. And what's surprising is that more than 1 out of every 2 drivers never compares, even though you could save up to 480 euros a year with our free comparison tool. It only takes 2 minutes to find the best deals. It's obviously free and with no obligation, and you could save up to 40 euros a month. So try our car insurance comparison tool. The link is in the description or in the pinned comment. Thank you all for watching this new video. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to make sure you don't miss anything. Bye.